Today, we're going to talk about efficiency and setting things up in order to essentially honor your process and how you work most efficiently. Welcome to the Up in My Business podcast with me, Lex Lancaster, where you'll get an inside look at all things tech, business, and my life as a physical therapist turned digital operations expert. You'll hear all about my lessons as a business owner, the ins and outs of tech for your business, and more. From SEO, websites, and email marketing to automations, launches, and copywriting, I've got you. I'm so excited you're here. Let's dive in. Today's episode is sponsored by Jane, a clinic management software and EMR that helps you handle your clinic's admin tasks so that you can free up your evenings and weekends. The Jane team understands how precious your time is and recognizes that charting can often be the most time-consuming, absolutely, admin task for practitioners. 1000%. That's why they're here to help. To start your chart notes from scratch, you can check out Jane's template library, which is amazing. It gives you access to templates that have been generously created and shared by health and wellness practitioners in the community. Once you have a template that you like, you can choose to customize it further with charting tools such as range scales, text fields, checkboxes, and more. To see how Jane can help you spend more time doing what you love, just make sure you click the link in my bio to book a personalized demo. I say bio and you know I mean show notes. Or if you're ready to get started, you can use my code LEX1MO at the time of sign up for a 1-month grace period applied to your new Jane account. Again, I'm going to put the link in the show notes, as well as you can use my code LEX1MO at checkout to get a 1-month grace period for your new Jane account. Welcome back to another episode of Up in My Business. It is the end of the weekend here. Shantae and I have spent the weekend watching beach volleyball. We watched our friend Kim Hildreth and her teammate Tegan Van Gunst, and Kim stayed with us while she was here until she went to the hotel when the tournament started, but it was great. We were able to, honestly, I have to just say that, we were able to sit and hug and say hi to Olympians. Taryn Cloth and Kristen Nuss just got back from Paris, and as well as Sarah and Kelly. But we love Taryn and Kristen. And so we have met them prior because Beth Dreyer, who is an AT locally and, one of Shantae and I's friends, she actually has basically invited us to where they practice at one point, and we met them quickly. So that was really cool. But we were able to be, not only watching their games, but say hi to them. And I think I'm not one of those people who's like, oh my God, it's a celebrity, let me go accost them for a photo. I'm not that person. And we were not those people when we met them. It was just hey, how are you? Beach volleyball is very low key, cool, whatever. Not trying to make a big deal out of it. But this weekend, Shantae was like, do I want a photo with Kristen? Of course. So we both got photos with Kristen. It was very, very cool. Anyway, they ended up winning the tournament. So go them. But it's just so amazing to live here and be amongst all of these really cool humans, and also just to be able to sit on a court and watch Olympians play. It's so, so cool. Anyway, so we did that all weekend. It was a volleyball all weekend type of weekend. And yeah, there's really not too many updates. As far as personal stuff goes, I'm trying to think, Moose is still being a nuisance. Now she has an ear thing going on. This dog was so easy for the full 2.5 years until now. And now it's health problem after health problem. And I'm just hoping it gets better from here, but I digress. Just a lot of management. And also I have pet insurance. I'm not silly. I have this stuff in place. So it's not I'm worried if something were to happen, but I'm the vet. I genuinely do not like the vet. And if you're a vet and you listen to this, which I don't really think any vets follow me, or if you know a vet, I just don't like the experience. It has never been a positive experience for me. And it's always my dog gets taken to the back of the vet to get everything done to them. And I'm I'm in the dog exam room. This is now a human waiting room. Don't call this the exam room because it's for me, not for Moose, but I digress. So dealing with that. And then business stuff, I will tell you, I think I have 4 do it in a days left, potentially 3 do it in a days left for the rest of the year. So if you're looking for a new website, if you want your website to have a full SEO overhaul, if you're looking to have me build a course, all of that jazz, I have 3 dates potentially for, I'm not sure if it's exactly 3 or 4 as of now, just because I haven't been on my email since Friday. So yeah, just letting you know if you have any of these interests, I will effectively run out of slots. And I know that I have 0 November availability. So make sure you get on that as soon as you can. If you've been, just waiting around to contact me, just let me know. And that's going to be part of today's episode too. So stay tuned about that. Another business thing, and we're going to put it to the test here. So I now have a phone number. Do not call me. I don't want to talk on the phone. I'll be very honest with you. If someone's like, I want to call you, I have a very, very small amount of people who I will talk to on the phone. Otherwise, I don't want to talk to people on the phone. So don't call me. And also just don't call me. But I am opening up the capability to do texting, and I don't know what this will turn into. I'm considering it being like a discovery call because I do not want people to do discovery calls with me on Voxer. That is a very protected space in my realm. And like I said, we're going to talk a little bit about that today, but that's a very protected space in my business because that is for paying clients only and for people who are part of my retainer service, my SEO service, or Lextramind. So that is a very, very protected space. And I do not want that to be part of my discovery call process, but I'm experimenting with texting and a phone number. And I also want to just say this. I know there are a few people who listen to my podcast who Voxer me and have permission to Voxer me. Like, we're good. I just want to say that we're good. Because I do have, previous clients who we have things arranged to do that with. So either way, I will talk more about this whole what works for you process in a minute, but I am experimenting with a phone number. So if you would love to shoot me a text and just say hi, obviously I will not have your contact information in here, but really cool thing is that it's also a secure number. So I will put a link for Spruce Health in the transcript here, Jeepers Creepers, in the show notes, because I basically am creating a secure portal, and I'm using Spruce Health because I love Spruce Health, and the cost was about the same as Sideline. So I was like, I know all the features that I have on Spruce, so I'm going to go with Spruce. So the phone number, if you'd love to shoot me a text and say hello, is 424-284-2870. And like I said, it's me. It's not a team. It's me. So if you would like to contact me to say hello, let me know. And then, like I said, I may be turning this into a place where people can text me about service options and all of that jazz. Like I said, do not know yet, but for right now, I have it. And I'm just excited to potentially experiment with a new thing. So yeah, that's about it. I'm excited to experiment. We'll see, because like I said, it's new. So, but here we go. So with that being said, there's really no other big updates other than SEO school that will be open for enrollment at the end of September to the beginning of October. Really excited to open the doors for SEO school again. I will be jumping into SEO land I'm just looking at my calendar right now because big calendar for the win, but I am probably going to be jumping into SEO land on my social media platforms. Not this Monday, like tomorrow, today, the day you listen to this, if you're listening to it on the 19th, but probably the 25th, 25th, 26th, I'll be launching into SEO school or SEO school time, SEO time on my Instagram, which should be fun. I think I love the SEO posts that I put out. I like teaching about it. I like giving quick little tidbits. And if you're not on the wait list, make sure you get on the wait list, because that's also when the first SEO tip is going to go out. So I send out SEO tips throughout the time that the wait list is open for enrollment. And as always, a waitlist will save money. So make sure you are on the lookout for all of that stuff. But I think that's all I've got for you for updates. Okay, so let's jump into the episode. I am going to, the reason I want to talk about this is because I had a client who works with me monthly and we talked about this. And then I also had a couple interactions with folks who we kind of got on this topic, and I felt like it would be nice to get my perspective on it. Now, I also will tell you that I am not the like gold standard. You do what works for you, but I'm going to share what works for me. So the topic overall is just essentially setting yourself up to work efficiently and allowing or essentially sticking to that setup so that you can work efficiently. And just that's it. Like, this is how I work efficiently. This is my process. The reason I say this is because, I will tell you, like, there was a period of time in my life where it was grind. Like, I would take calls on a Saturday. I would stay on a discovery call for 45 minutes. Like, there was a time when that was a thing. And are there still moments where I go over on calls and like unleash, if you will, like the expectation or let go of the expectation that this is exactly how it needs to be and it's very rigid? Of course, there are moments where I do this and, I do above and beyond things. I always under promise, over deliver. Anyone who works with me would know that. But the thing is when I set things up for me to work efficiently. So I have a couple of examples of this, but the person that I was chatting with, I'm going to give a brick and mortar example, and then also just like in business / I'll say life, but just online business, general business, what have you. But as a brick and mortar practice owner, the thing is I knew how to work efficiently and how to get my notes done and how to get what my patients needed in a certain amount of time and make them walk away or have them feel like they're walking away with what they need. So, and also to be the admin. Like, I was treating some, but I was also probably 75% admin for the last like 6 months that I owned the clinic. But regardless, here are the two things that I can give as examples for setting yourself up to work efficiently. So number one is online scheduling. I will tell you that there was a time when patients would email or text back and forth with the clinic phone, the clinic email, and be like, can I have an appointment at this time? Can I have an appointment at this time? And like, you're going back and forth with this person, and that's not efficient. It is just not efficient. I understand that there are people who can't necessarily manage to do online booking until they're shown, but that's how we do it. So essentially, I would just tell patients, hey, I would love to schedule you, but in order for me to work efficiently, I have online scheduling set up. Head here to go book online, right? So that's my one solution. My other solution is at the end of the appointment, if there's 10 minutes, I go over the HEP, what they need to be doing, and then I go over online booking and I book them for their next visit. If there's someone that does not know how to use online booking or says they don't know how to use it, what I will do is I will go over online booking with them. And that's it, right? So I think like we don't necessarily give ourselves I don't want to say the opportunity, but we don't give our patients the opportunity to treat us how we want to be treated and allow us to work as efficiently as possible, because we only have a finite amount of energy. Energy is real. We can't, I don't want to say outwork. We can't rework the system. Like, it is a thing. We have a finite amount of energy. So set yourself up to deliver whatever service it is in a way that works for you, in a way that you're able to work efficiently. And when I say efficiently, I mean, yes, time, but also just like your energy and your overall process, and just being able to show up 110% every day or 100% every day, right? And not burn yourself out. And I won't talk about burnout because it's not my specialty, but I will tell you, like, setting yourself up for this efficiency is key. The other thing that I will say is for HEPs, I have a client who says like she was emailing everyone an HEP afterward. So as a practice owner, we know that time is money, and I don't want to discount that for people. I know that oftentimes when you schedule someone for an hour, they're in your clinic at least for 50 minutes. And then the last 10 minutes, you can go over the HEP, right? Or you can have them for the full hour, and then maybe you take 15 minutes between to do the note, send the HEP, whatever your ideal situation is. What I was talking to this person about is instead of doing the whole like email process, one, you can have an online HEP program that you go over with the patient and put the exercises in front of them. I can't think of how many times people are like, oh, I'm so happy you went over that with me. Because people want to be shown, and the last 10 minutes of your appointment, that's still care that they appreciate. So it's almost like we're not finishing the last squat or the last lunge at 11:59 for our 1 hour appointment and then getting rushed out the door. We're finishing with 10 minutes left so that I can make sure that you know what you're doing for the rest of the week before we see each other again. So instead of being inefficient and sending multiple emails at the end of your day with all of these exercises, it can be really helpful to just go through them with the patient with the 10 minutes left that you have and put them into the HEP program, send the email in front of them within that visit, what have you. So it's obviously my preference to do this. I know that some people are like, but you promise an hour with the patient. I can also promise you that a patient who books an hour with you and like one-on-one individualized care, part of that is also getting what they need between visits. And it's so nice to be able to ask questions to you in the clinic. And I know like there's tons of people who might be listening to this and being like, Lex, duh, I already do this. Amazing. But I also know there are people who don't. So just inviting you to consider like, this is how you could set yourself up for efficiency. And is there something else that you're doing right now where you can take a step back and say, if I were to create a situation where this thing is not on my plate, what would that look like? And what time would it free up for me? Or what energy would it free up for me? So just thinking about that type of stuff. Now, for me and my online business, and also just brick and mortar practices can probably use this as well. But for me and my online business, the biggest thing that I will tell you that I do is that if someone contacts me on Instagram, I push them to send me an email or to fill out my contact form. I cannot tell you, I don't know if anyone else's DMs are like this, but like my DMs get lost. If there's an unread message and I don't get to it until 2 days from now, it goes away and I can't see it. And things like get lost. So for me, I will tell people, thank you for DMing me. I'm so excited to work with you. I'd love to help you. But can you please go fill out the form that's linked in my bio? Because that way it will send me an email and they will now be in my inbox. And if I feel like this person might need a discovery call first, I will tell them, go book the discovery call. And I will give them the link to book. The reason being is not because I'm not interested in working with these people or I'm not interested in, getting them scheduled and doing the thing. It's because I need you to follow my process so that I can work efficiently. And also I will say like Instagram for me is part business, but it's also part like life. I spend, I forget who says it, and Shantae always says it, but it's not work-life balance. It's your life's work. Is that, am I butchering that? I might be butchering that, but either way, like I'm not trying to separate life and business. I talk about both things on Instagram, but for me, I'm like, if you contact me on Instagram, then it gets lost. I don't want that. Like, I want to make sure your messages come to me. And if you're interested in working with me, for me, I'm like, okay, I will tell you, go fill out the contact form or go book a discovery call. I won't go back and forth with someone too much on Instagram because I really want to make sure that I acknowledge the fact that we have communication in one spot, aka email. And like, if it's a quick back and forth of what should you book? Does this make sense? Of course, like that's fine. But as far as like actually booking a service, I like to make sure that I have that in my email because otherwise things get lost. And I don't want that to be part of how I deliver any service, right? I want to make sure that I have all of the things between us. And also it just makes sense because efficiency. I go through my emails and obviously I go like as earliest as I received it to the latest, right? And I answer them in order of received. So it helps me, but it's also helps me be fair to everyone else in my inbox too. And it's not your responsibility to make sure that I'm fair, but I will tell people this is how I work efficiently, period. Right. And I think it might have been Molly Galbraith who I had seen a post about this before. It's like, you don't need to explain things to people. It's this is how you work, period. It's not like this is how I work, so I hope you understand and blah, blah, blah. It's fine. Like, this is your process. Honor your process, because the reason why you have this process is because you know it works for you. And it's when we dive away from that process and like make all the space and, do all these extra, I don't want to say extra, do all these things that are outside of what helps us be efficient and show up with 100% every day. That's when we start to see, I don't want to say like saltiness and resentment, but some of that. And also you just have time that goes lost, right? This time is lost. You're not working in the most efficient way. You might not be following your specific process. And then from there, it just kind of doesn't feel as good. So in business and in my business and in life in general, like there are situations where it can be difficult to say and to, I don't love messaging people back and being like, hey, you're letting me know you want to work with me, but can you go fill out this form? Like, I understand that is a quote unquote what someone in the business world would call like a hot lead for me. And I'm pushing them to go fill out a form. But for me, I'm like, if I don't do that, I can't promise that I will have that DM tomorrow. And it doesn't follow my process. So in my mind, I'm like, if I answer my emails, I have done my work for the day. Or if I have done X, Y, and Z, I've done my work for the day. So if that's not there, I may miss it. And if I miss it and I didn't tell that person to email me, now it's my fault, right? And so in order for me to run my business the way that feels good for me and allows me to essentially deliver the service that I'm promising, I have a specific process. This is what it is. And it's fine, right? I will also say I talked to someone about this recently and I was like, also, everyone that I work with is an adult, right? Like, we don't give ourselves enough credit to be like, hey, can you please go do this thing? And taking that initiative and being the person who fills out the form, sends the message, books the call. That is so, I can't describe how amazing that is, because as a person myself, I'm like, I don't want to email back and forth with you when I'm booking something else. So online booking for me is huge whenever I'm booking something for myself, right? Not just my business, but like when I'm booking a healthcare appointment, when I'm booking X, Y, and Z. Not that healthcare is ever like online booking as far as like doctors go, but I digress. Online booking is so nice. I don't want to have to go back and forth with people, and it just essentially eliminates all of the emails, right? So the thing is like, can we set ourselves up to be in a place where we are working efficiently and we're following our process? And if someone is trying to work with us, we introduce them to that process right from the get-go. Because when we move outside our process and we don't follow what feels good for us, eventually what happens is if you do it once for someone, they're going to think that is your typical response, right? And if you're fine with it, you're fine with it. But if you're not, and you initiate it in that way, it's not hard, but it can be uncomfortable to have to now take that away and change your process and tell them what the process actually is, because in the beginning, you didn't follow your process from the start, right? So it's one of those things where I will tell you, like, this is not permission. It's not a permission slip from me. But after talking with this person, I just felt like I've had enough interactions like this where it might be valuable for someone else to hear that you can just tell someone what your process is, and the expectation would be that they follow it, not because you're the boss, but because it's what helps your business run efficiently and it helps you show up efficiently. And people love that for people, right? So if someone has ever told you, hey, can you please go send me an email, or can you fill out this form? I would love to chat with you. And how I work most efficiently is through email, or how I work most efficiently is through Voxer, whatever that is, whatever your specific process is, stick to it, let people know. people get it. Like, we all get this. It's like when someone tells you that you need something from the store and you don't write it down. I know very few people who remember every single thing all the time. And I can't even actually say that anyone would say that they are able to. They will say they need to write things down. So it's like someone shouting to you across the room, like, hey, we need eggs at the store, but you're like washing dishes. If you don't take a break from washing the dishes and go write eggs down on the grocery list, oftentimes we'll forget it. That's part of that process where you can say, hey, thanks so much. I need you to write this on the list because I'm busy right now and I will not remember. So it's one of those things where we can just tell people, this is how we work most efficiently. This is how I work within my business. Thank you so much for understanding. Right? And just pointing them in the right direction. Everybody wants to be led. And most times, like, I would love to be led when I am booking a visit or knowing what I'm supposed to do next. So let's just lead people to not follow our process, but just honor the way that we work most efficiently so that we can deliver the best service to them. And at the end of the day, that's what it's about. It's about the fact that you're able to show up with 100% every day. Or, if you're not able to show up with 100%, if you're still able to work efficiently, it's going to feel much better than if you're just moving outside of your process all the time, because that's going to be, in my mind, that feels so much more, it feels like it's energy sucking to do that. Like, it's difficult when you're working outside your typical process because it's not as streamlined as you are used to. And then you're just finding yourself in a place where, if I'm being honest, when you do it, you think back, oh man, like, I wish I just followed my process because this is not what works for me. And eventually you end up having to have that conversation anyway. So to wrap it up and not beat the horse dead here, just honor your process and people will not love it, but maybe love it and appreciate it and understand that this is how you work most efficiently to deliver the best service to them, and people will understand. And I think we should give them credit to understand that and allow ourselves to be very direct in the way that we work so that we can deliver our service, and be direct in the way that you communicate with, this is how I work most efficiently, period. Like, we don't have to justify that and say why we work efficiently that way. It doesn't matter. This is how you work most efficiently. So just let people know, and it can work wonders as far as energy management goes, and just feeling like you have this streamlined process that you're always sticking to, because every client goes through it and you know what's next, you know where they are at in the process, you know what to tell them to do next. And lastly, if you don't have online booking if you don't have online booking set up, I highly recommend you have an online scheduler. If you are a brick and mortar practice, Jane app is amazing. If you are an online business, or if you need an online scheduler and you're not using Jane, Acuity scheduling is also amazing. So I'll put links to both of those in the show notes. But that's all I've got for you. I hope you took something away from this, resonated with it in any way. And I will invite you once again to send me a text to let me know what you thought. If you have thoughts on the episode, if you want to just send me any sort of hi, or I liked your episode, or show me a picture of moose, whatever you want to say. I would love to hear from you. And like I said, I'm not sure what this will end up becoming in my business, or if I will get rid of it, to be completely honest with you. I might just get rid of it, and we will see. But with that being said, thank you so much for listening. I will catch you next week.